should now be live. Good evening, everybody. I'm just going to double check everything's working correctly. It appears to be. Spiffing? How are we all doing? I'm aware that Evo is probably still finishing up, so I'm just going to give people a chance to pop in before we get too far ahead. Hello, Barga, Sarcastic Paleontologist, Jurassic Jaws, if you're still in chat. And if you're just joining, please do say hello. How am I? I'm doing okay. I've had a bit of a lazy Sunday. Me and Dane have just had a cheeky Indian takeaway, our final for a while since we're starting a new diet on Monday. Trying to lose a bit of weight. One of our New Year's resolutions. What do I think of the Jurassic World Rebirth leaks, Barger? I think it doesn't do much to make me want to go and watch the movie, if I'm honest. Hello, Monster. Lazy Sundays are truly the best kind of Sunday. They are. And considering that I managed to edit and finish 3 videos last week, I think it was deserved. Hello, Zhao. Right, so, if you remember, last stream, we basically did everything you see here on screen. We constructed the central region, put in the side areas here. I know it looks a bit like a uterus. It's not deliberate, it's just how it's ended up. But we put everything in here. And we also began an idea of turning this lagoon into sort of a Japanese-inspired area with the Evo's mod assets. And I've done a little bit of homework, as you can see. I put in some trees, put in some rocks to hide the pillars of the bridges. And I think this has turned out really, really nice. What I do want, though, is to put some dinosaurs on each of these rocks. So I decided I would wait until the stream and find out what you guys thought about what dinosaur species on those rocks. Is this how you make dinosaurs a bird after flying over the uterus plaza? Oh, no. Let's not call it the uterus plaza. Oh no. But yeah, let's have some suggestions for dinosaur species to have on these rocks here. Well, Tabo isn't Japanese, but I suppose it's the closest thing we have, since it's the Asian T-Rex. So I think we'll put Tabo on this side. Yeah, I'm happy with that. So we've got Tabo. I'm thinking the one at the very back should probably be a sauropod of some description, so that we can see it from behind all this lot. Any other suggestions? Because if I don't get suggestions, I'll put in what I think. Hello, Rob. Rob, if you're just joining, give me a dinosaur statue to put in our central area. Barger says Velociraptor. Are we sure on Velociraptor? Because we got Velociraptors already down here, haven't we? Utahraptor. Yeah, we put Velociraptors down here with the Euoplocephalus, so we've already kind of got them nearby. Kinjal. Kinjal works. I don't actually use Kinjal, I haven't used it pretty much ever in my parks. He's a bit smaller, isn't he? He's a bit of a small boy. Let's put him over this side since we've got the Tabo on this side and on the other side. Let's have him facing that way. Yep. We could have a look at the... I think that we could put the quets on the front. I just worry that it will sort of interfere a bit with the view of everything behind it. I think we need something actually quite small on the rock in the front. I mean, something like Sinta would work, or Wuho, or something like that. Ah, Chunkingosaurus. Yeah, let's put Chunking. Cretaceous Kencher, Mwanga, Wobbler, Gigantor. Chunking. We'll put a couple in, actually, since this one's very small. Look how small he is. Gonna have to... angle him down a bit. Yeah, I think that works. So, what do we have as our sauropod in the back? It's gotta be something that's reasonably tall, I think. Dippy? Dippy isn't tall, Rob. Mementi would work. Dreadnoughtus we've already got around here as well, Bargo. We've got, we put the Alamo, the Dreadnoughtus, and 2 Brackies here. So Mementi, I think, would work a bit better. I don't want to repeat statues too often. Mementi would fit in with the Asian theme, that's for sure. It's a shame we don't have, you know, Shatungosaurus, not Shatungosaurus, isn't there a sauropod beginning with S that comes from China? I know there's, what's it, Omyosaurus or Omisaurus? Shonosaurus, that's it. Yeah, and then we can just have his... He's just got his little head there, that's just like popping around the side of this tree in Torige, being like, what? What? What's going on over there? Yeah, I think this looks really good. I've also already put in the viewing domes underneath the 2 side areas. They are connected to entrances here and here, so they're all positioned as well. So I want to do a little bit of decorating before we put the Megalodons and before we put the Chronos in there. Sorry. Like I say, I'm still getting over that annoying chest infection of mine. So in the idea that people will eventually be walking on the rock platforms if the game were that way, probably not with the... Given the animals that are going in here, probably not. Unless they take the chopper and fly over, but the health and safety for that would be extreme. Right, so first thing I want to do is put the pagoda in. And I'm going to put the pagoda towards the front, I think. So let's put this. How does it look from above? I want it a little lower than that, if I'm honest. I kind of want this to be more like completely sunk. Maybe let's have it sort of canted over a bit. Oh well, completely sunk that's way too low, isn't it? Maybe you just have its tip just... That's a little better. But I think let's twist it slightly. Yeah. And then let's use the good old lagoon bits and bobs to embed this in. We've got some rocks. Let's put some rocks in here. See, funny thing is, I don't really mind the way that the lagoons are set up. I know a lot of people are sort of hoping that we get, you know, placeable deep water so that we don't have to have lagoons and stuff in the next game. I don't mind having the lagoons. What I mind is how badly they're implemented into the game. Like, sorry. I wouldn't mind if Jurassic World Evolution 3's lagoons were pretty much the same. Circles that we place down, the same sorts of materials we can put in them. What I want is just more adaptability with them. You know, I want to be able to change how they look, what colors there are, what the color and depth of the water is, what the ground texture is inside. I want more attractions to go with them. I want more decorations and bigger decorations. I don't necessarily want to be able to build 100% natural lagoons, and I never really have. I've never been, you know, one of those that really badly wanted something like that. Next bit, let's have like... Okay. I'm gonna have a bridge. What I want to do is kind of sink it. And we're gonna have a Tory gate. This one. This one. Kind of want to have like fallen over. I think it needs to be a little flatter than that. Yeah. And then this one will have like standing up. And again, we'll bed these in with some planting and such. Quite like the idea of having some quite long bamboo around this one. did I just say bamboo? Quite long kelp around this one. Clearly I'm not 100% there today. And over here, maybe we can like add a few vents to this one. Make it look like the volcanic vents is what's caused it to fall over. Put a couple of patches of kelp in. Don't mind mixing and matching the types of kelp that we use here. I think it actually works better. Your video about Jurassic World Evolution 3/CEO statement was very interesting. I'm glad, Rob. I wasn't initially going to make a video about it. I was tempted just to make a short. But I couldn't really say what I wanted to say in, you know, a 1 minute. So I decided to make a full video. I know that the response has been quite mixed. I know that people like Evo, or I know that Evo's response was that she's not 100% pessimistic about it, because in reality it doesn't really say anything, which I do agree with. I mean, it was mostly full of buzzwords and nonsense, so in reality it doesn't mean anything. That being said, if I'm not pessimistic, I suppose I am concerned, shall we say? There is enough about what was said in there that does have me somewhat concerned. And personally, after, you know, the appalling way that Jurassic World Evolution 2 was launched and the problems they've had with Planet Coaster 2, I think it's perfectly permissible to be worried about the next game. I don't think anything I said in that video was unfair. Yes, the tuna does react rather weirdly. Still reacts rather weirdly in this game. Do you remember when it used to fly around the park? Let's have... I know somewhere in here I have like a wrecked building. Yeah, let's put one of you in. Whoops. I would love to see actual bamboo added. Yeah, I'm surprised we don't have actual bamboo as like placeable vegetation at all. But then I suppose that's because none of the biomes that we have in game are actually Asian. Like, we don't have an Asian biome. That would be one thing I would like to see come to the next game, is a wider variety in biomes, because, you know, I know we've got, like, we had Europe and we had America, various places in America, and we have various European biomes, but I mean, okay, let me start again. I take issue with the fact them calling Europe a biome in the first place. It is not. But, you know, Europe is not a biome, Europe is a region. Europe has a number of biomes within it. So, you know, I hope they get a bit more accurate with elements like that. kind of want to put down one of those dead whale skeletons here. Just for creepy factor. You do know bamboo can also be found in tropical Africa. I did not know that it could be found in tropical Africa like the Congo and Madagascar. I thought it was strictly a Asian plant. I didn't know that it grew there naturally anyway. Your lagoon video improvements now, David. That was a long time ago as well, wasn't it? A couple of years ago now. But it's surprising how much of that lagoon video that I made is still very much relevant. Like, so much of that video is still 100% relevant to how the lagoons are today. I actually think it's quite disappointing the lack of work the lagoons actually have had as the game has developed. Like, the aviaries too. Both the aviaries and the lagoon basically got no development at all as the game expanded. And I don't really understand why. You can turn it off, yes please. And door shut, yes please. I honestly feel like this is going to sound unfairly harsh, but I think it's accurate. I feel like after the two main DLCs were done, Malta and Biosyn, I feel like they just gave up with the game after that. Once those two DLCs were done and dusted, they just could not be asked to do anything other than the bare minimum, and so we just kept getting animal packs and bare minimum features being added. I really don't feel like they did enough substantial enough work post those DLCs. And that might be a bit harsh, but it's how I feel. I feel like the lagoons and everything could have been such a standout feature from this game. And they were never given enough opportunity to shine. Yes, Nicholas, I do agree with that, although we're not really talking about film studios at the moment. I feel like we need something in that gap there. Maybe we could just have like another dead whale skeleton. That works. Yeah, I'm reasonably happy with that. Like, we've got like that now. We have like 4 groups of like scenery. I kind of want to leave most of this under rock area quite clear of stuff. The only thing I might do actually is just to disguise these towers a bit. Just might put some like kelp around them, because they do stand out a little bit. I think it's because Frontier only wanted to make expansion packs for the movie. Yeah, I think the movie's delay really hampered this game. Like, while I've been writing that big review I'm doing, I haven't really kind of. I think it's going to end up going in my conclusion at the end, where I talk about the various problems with this game because it's a brand rather than a game being made for passion for the game's purpose. You know, this is not a game that's being made for because people have really wanted to make a game. It's a game being made because of the brand, and I haven't really spoken about that yet in my review video yet, but I think I might towards the end, because I think it does bring a couple of things into focus that really does need to, that need to be asked. Like, how much of this game that we have is Frontier, and how much of this game is, Universal? Like, how much did Universal do to make this game not terrible, but the problems that it does have, are they Universal's fault or Frontier's fault? I'm gonna put... We've got like a ruined building as well, don't we? Oh, I used that over there though, didn't I? Let's put the archway in, actually. And it's a bit random just to have an archway here, but... Oh look, low health. I will bet you right now that's another Thanatos Draken that's stuck. Yep, oh no, it's a Topuxura. Fucking pterosaurs, man. Nicholas thinks that the Jurassic World Evolution 2 animal packs are good. I'm actually not 100% about that. Something I want to do. So, my video is going to end up with like 9 chapters, I think it is. Chapter 5 is just looking... Is it chapter 5 or chapter 7? I think it's chapter 7 is looking at the DLCs. And I want to kind of like figure out what particular animals we actually got in those DLCs, because it seems like those DLCs are really heavily weighted towards particular animal groups over other animal groups. Like, we've gotten quite a lot of theropods of any description in the DLC packs. In fact, I'm just going to bring it up on my other internet tab here. JWE2DinoDB. Let's have a look. Let's just have a quick look. Release version. So in the Park Manager's collection, if we just look at dinosaurs, not lagoon animals or pterosaurs, just looking at dinosaurs, we got a ceratopsian and a theropod. Secret species I don't think counts because they're hybrids. Cretaceous predator pack. Oh, they're all theropods. Pretty much. Apart from Giganotoraptor. Prehistoric marine species doesn't account. Feathered species pack, we got a therizinosaur. We got Sinosauropteryx, which is technically a theropod, and Eutyrannus, a theropod. Dominion, we got a theropod, a raptoroid, and a Permianera creature. Late Cretaceous, we got a sauropod, a theropod. Dominion Biocene, we got a theropod, therizinosaur, and a Permian creature. Camp Cretaceous, we got a theropod and a hybrid. Early Cretaceous, we got an Ankylosaurid and a Stegosaurid. Deluxe Edition, we got a theropod and a ceratopsid. Like, it does feel that the DLC packs were heavily weighted towards theropods. Like, we only got one Stegosaurid, we only got two ceratopsids, we only got one sauropod. We got two Therizino relations, Dinoceras and Therizinosaurus. But there are so many big herbivorous species that we didn't get. We still don't have any prosauropods in the game, like Plateosaurus or Rheogosaurus. We only got two ceratopsians, Pachyrhino and Microceratus. But we didn't get Psittacosaurus. We haven't gotten Avaceratops. We didn't get Diabloceratops, Regaliaceratops, Centrosaurus. We didn't get. Centrosaurus is like one of the big ceratopsian groups. It literally gives it name to the Centrosaurusine part of the ceratopsian family tree, and we don't have it. Stegosaurs are tricky because I think we have most of them in the game. I think there's only 3 off the top of my head. Maiorragia, Dravido, which may or may not actually be a Stegosaur, and Tajungasaurus that we're missing. I can't think of any others. Let's save this and go grab our. Let's go grab our animals. Ankylosaurs as well, I think we have most of them in now. The only ones we're missing are some of the newer ones like Antarctopelta and Boreal Pelta. Sauropods, we're missing so many. Cetiosaurus, Saltosaurus, Omisaurus, Shonosaurus, Argentinosaurus. We don't have Argentinosaurus. Protoceratops, good call, Rob. Yeah, we don't have Protoceratops still. Why did I do this? I've already got it written down somewhere, haven't I? Notepad for next stream. Yes, we wrote them all down. Whoops, that was stupid of me. Yes, Kaleidosaurus. Yeah. Like, we didn't get a single species of, like, small herbivore. You know, we didn't get Othnilia, we didn't get Leniosaura, we didn't get Ornithomimus, didn't get Sauronithodides. Like, there's lots of, like, bird mimic adjacent dinosaurs that we could have. We didn't get a single one. I just think it's really bizarre. And maybe it's because maybe it's because I think theropods sell. They're going with the theropods because they know people will buy them. I don't. suppose you could say that herbivores are not as popular as carnivores. I don't know. Wrong one. Oops. Oh. Right. Let's release the chronos first. We already picked out there it is. I always end up missing it. I don't know why. Okay, so we went with Yukon River and Papyrana, which is our Walking with Dinosaurs Liporodon. We went with Gambia River Basin and Pelophylax. Okay, interesting. And we're going with Chaplin Valley and Papyrana. I'm actually going to let these play because it's been a while since I've seen them. I still say the Kronosaurus looks very cute.
Okay, here we have the Kronosaurus.
I forgot I was recording something for my review video and I had to turn their voices on. Hello, Guillermo. Oh, I remember this one, yes. I just realised, we don't have anywhere to put the shark feeders yet. So I'm just going to quickly shove a couple of shark feeders in here somewhere. I think I'm going to put them... See, because I'm conscious about not wanting them to get stuck in animation, so I'm tempted to put them... I can put one there, and one there. And then we'll do some decorations and stuff around. Right, there's our Kronosaurus. Don't know why I made more than one hatchery. That's stupid of me. I would like to see some more non-dinosaurs, like pseudosuchians and possibly other Permian and Triassic creatures. Yeah, I think the roster needs to be expanded towards other time periods. But like I have said before, I'm not a fan of adding Ice Age creatures. Just because I think Frontier would just pick the most boring, obvious ones. Like, there are plenty of, you know, post-dinosaur animals, as I like to call them. There are plenty of post-dinosaur animals that are, like, really interesting, like the terror birds, like the calicotheres, like the giant Dodecurus, and the entelodonts as well. No, you didn't, Kyrie. But I don't think that those are the sorts of Cenozoic period animals that Frontier are going to put in. If that's what they do with Jurassic World Evolution 3, they'll pick the most boring, obvious ones. They'll pick a mammoth, they'll pick a saber-toothed cat, they'll probably pick a woolly rhino, perhaps, and they'll probably pick a terror bird, if only because some of the rigs from dinosaurs could work on it. And I kind of want more interesting variety than that. Papurana. Not to mention, if they're going to add Cenozoic period animals into the game, I want them to also add the associated theming. Like, everything we've got at the moment is themed very much around dinosaurs, Jurassic Park, Jurassic World. Like, everything's pretty tropical in nature. There's lots of amber related stuff, there's lots of dinosaur related stuff. I would want them to also, you know, if they're going to add Cenozoic animals, they need to add Cenozoic sort of theming. Perhaps add a new type of building set with a more sort of caveman Ice Age aesthetic to it. But that's just my thoughts. Oh, they right, let's release our Megs. I'm not really a big fan of the vocalizations they make, if I'm honest. I don't think that's very realistic for sharks. I know there's nothing to say they wouldn't have, but I feel like they if they wanted to give them a vocalization, I feel it should have been something a little more subtle to it. I kind of want to wait until one of them like goes underneath one of these bridges, because I think that would look so cool. Just to be like, have a screenshot of like you standing on the bridge and watching it. Ding. Oh, he looks like he's getting in position. Hang on, I'm pausing that. Hang on. Let's get down there. Ah, he turned. He turned round. Oh, is he going the other side? He's going the other side. Ah, we missed him. That's so cool. I think that's definitely worthy of a quick screen capture for Evo. Like, how can we make it clear we're in, like, her bridges? That's properly creepy. Have just be looking at that coming along. Actually, kind of works for this one over here as well. We have like a slightly wider. Perfectly safe for visitors. Exactly, Atifa. Perfectly safe. There's no risk to anybody. They really are big. Sorry about that. don't take a drink and try to breathe in at the same time. Oh. And yeah, it might be a bit dangerous housing these guys together. But I think the lagoon is big enough. And I think it's alright. I really hate the flipping lagoon camera. Let's go have a... That's pretty damn cool. Look at him! Oh, hang on, hang on. Let's get a proper view of this. Oh. I really like how this lagoon has actually turned out. Aww. Hello, Bruce. Kind of want to see if we can get a screenshot of these guys swimming around this pagoda. Always take whatever screenshotting opportunities you can. It's the mark of a YouTuber. Thank you, Kayla. The only thing I think the lagoon needs now is, I think, a couple of like boats. Look at these guys. And there's the swim and let live, live and let live policy between the megalodons and the chronos there. Yeah, I think what we need is a few... Hang on, hang on. I know this might be annoying to you guys, but, you know, I love a good screenshot. That is a good screenshot. What would you be thinking? I know what I would be thinking. I would be thinking, boy howdy, does this wooden bridge feel very, very, very flimsy. Would you stand on this flimsy wooden bridge while a 20-meter long great white shark swims under it? Oh. Oh, that's terrifying. Oh, and he's just... Oh, that is terrifying. That might have to be a short. Oh, look at him. Yeah. I'm in danger. Exactly. But yeah, what I want to do is maybe have a couple of boats on the surface. I'm thinking... See, I love this boat, but it's just a bit too big. So what I might try and go for a bit of a Jaws-esque thing. Maybe over here towards the back. And I might put like a couple of like small flimsy wooden boats around. Let's embed these. So I really don't like these shark feeders. I think they're hideously ugly. I do like putting like a couple of planting bits down around them, just because I think it takes the edge off the ugliness slightly. With fake guests, I love that idea. We can use the concrete. If we got, because we got those concrete guest statues, don't we? Yes, we do. We could put just like a couple of fake guests in. Rob, you're evil, but I like it. Okay, let's have 3 of those, and let's have 4 of those. Hello, Melissa. Let's have this one. This one we're going to place on this one. Just like bobbing next to it to make it look like someone's waiting there. This one, quite like the idea of having it sort of here in the front. And let's put the last one. Let's have the last one kind of up against here. Let's angle it slightly to make it look like it's like landed. There we go. That's not what I wanted that to look like. It's hovering in the air. That'll do. And then these rowboats. So let's have like let's have like a rowboat over here. And let's have a rowboat over here. And these last 2, let's have them where are we gonna have our like little jaws scene. Let's have a boat here. And then over here we'll have a boat. But let's have it like kind of going down, doing the whole Titanic bit. Don't think I quite have the angling of that correct. Let's make the angle a little shallower. That works. And like, let's have the last 2. What one? Oops, sorry, Meg, I picked you up by mistake. Have the last 2 boats like around it. It's all about imagination in this game. The tugboat has started to sink. Exactly. And then, like Rob said, let's just have like a... We've got some statues of people. I think we've got one of them like running away. I think that's the only... Yeah, we've only got like a pattern of them running a version of it with running away. I kind of wish we just had like a version of someone just standing normally, but... Oh. It doesn't really work, but... Yeah, the people don't really work. Maybe if we put them on the rafts instead? Yeah, I mean, I think they work on the rafts. Maybe we could add a couple to the boat. Or on top of the boat. This is remarkably ornate for something that people are not going to see much of. Can I just say, if you do find yourself in a flimsy wooden rowing boat in water surrounded by Megalodon and Kronosaurus, well, prayer might be your only bet. Maybe some fog effects. Actually, instead of fog effects, maybe... They're just a bit severe. If they were a little bit smaller, it would work. If anything, I would say put the fog effects over the little Japanese town we have going on. Maybe. Maybe. I'll leave it for now. Because the problem with those effects is that once you have them, like, placed down, they can be a little tough to move around. So, for now, I'll leave it as it is. But I think this looks really good. Obviously, I'll have to come back in nighttime and, I'll have to come back in nighttime and, put lighting and stuff in. Could do with a few more animals, if I'm honest. I might put a fourth of each one in. Looks so good there. This is another reason why having decorations that are large is kind of important. Like, if you have a decoration that is this big, when you put like a dinosaur or animal like a megalodon next to it, it properly puts the size of these creatures in proportion. One other problem with all these lagoon decorations we have is they're all piss tiny, so they don't really give you a good sense of size. It's when you put like a whole building down here. Good night, Matthias. It's when you put a whole building down here where it really suddenly... That's... Oh, do you feel lucky? Would you leave the sheltered safety of this ruined tower if you were a scuba diver? Probably not. Ah. There's the Jaws shot right there, isn't it? There's two. Oh, you just passed through the coral. Not fantastic. Yeah, these decorations really do add a certain something. I'm really happy with how this is all turned out. Oh, that's a good shot. I like that. Excellent. Well, do you know what's missing along with the idea of toy Oh yeah, the interaction between pterosaur, dinosaur, and lagoon animal. I'm not as particularly bothered about that as I am, say, just having natural animations for these animals. But yeah, what is next? So what is next really is we need to do like the outside of the lagoon, like decide on because we need to create basically two paths that lead up to the far end. So we can kind of have this as all one integrated unit, as it were. And I think what I'm also going to do is I'm going to place down I want to kind of place down a few of those. Right. So, if... Okay, we don't have... What's going to be the easiest thing to do? maybe just go from... kind of use that as a guide. Don't get rid of the feeder, just get rid of the path. Thank you. Do the same thing over here, so go down to when it's like... I think that's okay. I want there to be a little bit of a gap between the lagoon and the pathway that leads up here. That's stupid of me. Let's measure that correctly. 1. Okay, and do the same on this side. 1 full length, 1 part length, 1 curve. Two curve. It's not perfect, but I'm accepting of a little imperfection. There are tolerances here. Let's try and keep with the curves. Bugger. Slightly inconvenient. That'll do. Can we get like an extra one in there? Just about. Just about. There's a couple of little squiffy edges there, but again, there are tolerances here. You can drag it outside, like if you, it's the same way that you can do with the fence. Like if I just grab like heavy fence and I can drag it out as much as I like. One thing I would say though about putting stuff outside map boundaries is it can sometimes make the game not happy. That's what broke the Jurassic Egypt park I was rebuilding. It broke because I placed a couple of objects outside the map barrier, and from that point onwards the game was like, I'm just going to keep crashing on you. So yeah, if you do go and put stuff outside the map barrier, just be aware that it could cause save game problems. There we are. Hello, Aiden. You lost the motivation to play because of poor performance. Yeah, it is one of the biggest problems with this game, is the way that it runs. And it's actually one of a few ways this game is worse than the first game. The first game was poor in content, but optimized, technically put together really well, but poor in content. This game is got a lot of content, but it's technically put together badly. And the question is, which of those two is worse? Is it worse to be a little lacking on content, but put together well? Like, the metaphor I've come up with for my review is it's the difference between a vanilla sponge cake, but perfectly well made. So it's a bit bland, it's a bit boring, it's a bit basic, but it's been made really well. Or the same cake, but it's got covered in frosting and it's got chocolate chips inside. So it's got a lot more going on in it, but when you cut into it, you find the frosting is been made really badly, and all the chocolate chips have fallen to the bottom and turned into a muddy mess at the bottom of the cake. And the cake itself is really horribly dry and not moist in any way. Like, which is worse? The cake that's good but bland, or the cake that's bad but interesting? And I'm not. That's a question I'm trying to answer with my big review as well. Like, what is worse? Now, I'm actually not going to double... I was thinking about doubling up these path areas, but I'm not going to do that, because what I want to do is... I kind of want to have like a little shop area up here on either side, so one that side and one on this side. We've got this weird little lump here at the back. I'm not sure what to do with it, because this is going to be basically this whole area you're only ever going to be able to get to through here. It's not going to connect up to anything else. And I don't know whether to make this little lump part of that. Like, I suppose... How big... I mean, it would be kind of big enough for a hotel, if we wanted to put a hotel in the back here. Like, a big one would fit, just about. We wouldn't really be able to do anything with it surrounding, but a big one would fit. Or we could make it for another small exhibit, dinosaur exhibit. So yeah, I don't know what to do about that little nobule that's sticking out there. Okay, so where do I want to put the shops? They're only going to be, it's only going to be like a small shopping area. Basically, it's just going to be 1, 2. Going to move these a little bit, because they're going to be kind of joined. They're all going to be like joined together. 3. Yeah, we'll have to do a little sculpting of the little mountain area that we have going on here. I made big parks on Xbox. Eventually, one just kept crashing and the others lag really badly. Path building and attraction building is rough. Yeah, performance on consoles was awful from day one, and it never recovered. Like, it just remained awful. And I know this is probably going to give me a lot of hate, but I wish that they just hadn't bothered with putting it on consoles. Because my opinion is that if the people on consoles cannot have an experience that is good, don't bother, because you're just wasting everybody's time. And I feel like the people on console got screwed over, and they've ended up with a game they want to play because they've been told they can play it, but it's been made so badly that, like, what's the point? Okay, so just kind of combine this one into there. And then we're gonna do the same with this one, so we're gonna change it to panels, concrete parapet. Gonna have that, we're gonna have that there, we're gonna go with the same decoration. Was it that one? No, it was the other one. Get rid of that. We'll put that into there. That doesn't look level. It is not level. Ah. They didn't level. Why did they not do that? Why do you hate it when that happens? Okay, one. So difficult to see. Two. And three. Well, needs to be moved over just a tad. Oh, hit the microphone. Sorry. There we go. It runs worse on your PC and looks worse even on max graphics. Interesting. Please no crab. The crab walking was the most embarrassing aspect of the game's release. Just seeing these animals just crab walking, it's so embarrassing. We're in 2020. Well, we were in 2021 at that time. Can we at least get animals to be able to walk without looking like? Well, I'm not allowed to use the word I want to use on YouTube, but it begins with R. Okay. You all know the word I want to use, but I can't use it on YouTube. It's also pretty rude to use in general, but it is exactly what it looks like. The goofy body posture issue is another one I don't like, because it's the same problem that the first game had, where so many of the dinosaurs look like they're over compensating in their walks. It's like, it's one of the things that Walking with Dinosaurs got right from the start, was that they made sure that the dinosaurs looked correct when they were walking around. Do you want to just kind of improve this mountain a little bit? Just give it a little bit more texture. That's a bit better. Looks a bit more realistic. Right. And then basically I want to do the same as I've done over here, Ah, the collision detection bugs. It was a problem that the game, on day one, I remember it was the sauropods that had the biggest problem with that. Like, if you tried to helicopter transport an Apatosaurus, it would just go completely nuts. It was funny, but also very embarrassing. And basically, I just want to copy the same sort of pattern that we did on the other side over this side. Gonna move these in a little bit to make it a little more narrow. How narrow is this? It's like one. It's like one, two of those. Just a little shorter than that. How is it over here? One. Yeah, pretty much got the distance correct there. I'm gonna keep with that. Have you also noticed how the old age deaths can be so dramatic? Well, it's because of the ragdolling physics. It's because the minute the animal dies, the physics immediately stops. I feel like we are being quite critical here. So maybe in the last sort of half hour, we could mention some things that we think Jurassic World Evolution 2 has done well. And I'll start by saying I absolutely love this amenity modification system. It should have been expanded to other buildings, but I think the amenity modification system is a fantastic idea. Like, it gives you some of the decorative capabilities of modular building, but in a very easy, efficient way. And I think it's a great idea. Put it on more buildings in the new game, and I would be very, very happy. The most ambitious game is yet to come. The most ambitious and yet the least changed. But let's try to be nice. Like what are some of the things the game has done well? Yeah, the game does look genuinely beautiful. Like, I have to say that graphically I think it looks really good. Like, if you compare the way this game looks to the first game, it is night and day. Is that medium fencing? No, it's short. It is short log walls. Okay. Honestly, the angle snap in this game snaps like an angry megalodon. It's very annoying. Stop it. We'll do this. Really, game? That is awfully annoying. Just, why won't you curve nicely? Why are you curving like that? Ugh, it's not that good, but it'll do. The dinosaur modelling has definitely improved. I would agree with you there, Zhao. The Ankylodocus has definitely gotten a bit of a grow up. Definitely looks a lot better than it ever used to. Yeah, and then basically we just have I kind of want to give this area up here a different feel. Something that looks a little bit more, don't know, secure, I suppose. 1, 2, 3. No. Yeah, the behavioral stuff for the animals, it's definitely an improvement, but it's nowhere near in improvement enough. I would definitely agree with you there. Yeah, the correcting of some of the dinosaur sizes was definitely needed. Why did that not... Why was that not straight? Oh, I kind of like that effect. Yeah, path really tanks performance. Yeah, that's been a problem since they did something with the Jurassic Park anniversary update, which tanked paths. If I go over here, so watch what happens to my frame rate if I zoom in here. Can you see that? Oh, we're down into you're in single figures now. It's something to do with how the path connections. If you have too many path connections in a spot, it completely buggers up performance. Only does it in this camera view though, because if I go into camera mode, totally fine, more or less. But if I'm in building mode, has absolutely none of it. The new attractions were great, like the zip lines. I am not 100% on that. Honestly, I feel like they really should have done a lot more when it comes to attractions. Personally, I don't really consider the zipline a great attraction. I think it's a very, like, niche attraction. I think I've only ever used it in, like, one park build. I don't think it's a sort of thing you could use, is sort of usable in every park you build. I'm not going to go any further with the fence on this side because, again, we might use that little sticky outy bit as something. We got a little sticky outy bit there as well. Got two here. Got like a little thing there and a little thing here. This one I might use as like an observation point. Have we got... Actually, how... What sort of view would this give us? kind of a nice view into this gully, to be honest. Maybe we could use it just like an observation point. I'll have a think about that. The log was cool, yeah. I mean, it was nice to get like the viewing domes, the viewing log. Definitely was nice to get them. But honestly, to me, I think that that's like bare minimum stuff. And that is one of the problems I have with Jurassic World Evolution 2. So many of the additional things we have gotten, so much of it is just like, well, this brings it up to a bare minimum standard for building games. Like, oh, well, we've got placeable decorations and placeable benches now. Okay. But so, you know, Jurassic Park Operation Genesis had them 20 years ago. So you've finally reached the dizzying heights of 20 years ago. Like, what else have you got? That's one of my biggest problems with this game. It's just so... It's such an incremental improvement from Jurassic World Evolution 1. And that's why I'm really worried about this news that they're not going to change much. Because I'm like... Jurassic World Evolution 2 isn't different enough. It is different, but it's not that different. And I want the next game to be massively different. Because it has to be. If it isn't, it's just going to be this game again. Just with a few shinier baubles. I mean, the decorations they did give us are pretty nice-ish. I think they show a critical lack of imagination, a lot of them, but they're all right, I suppose. I think the changes are not removing and changing what is in Jurassic World Evolution 2 right now. Then they will just add more and improve upon it. Well, you say that, but... if they're going to add baby dinosaurs, surely they're going to have to cut some species. They're not going to make 122 species worth of baby dinosaurs, surely. I think that works pretty good as a mountain, if I have to say so myself. I think that looks pretty decent. happy enough with that for the moment. Yeah, see, that's what I really don't want them to do, Jow. I don't want them to just copy and paste baby models over or shrink adult models down. I want them to actually implement baby animals in a way that makes sense. And yeah, I agree, Monster. It is... If the next game is just this game with a few minor additions, it is basically like what EA does with their sports games. Release Sandbox was awful, Aiden. I totally agree. Absolutely no defense for the way they launched Sandbox. Yeah, apart from like minor decoration work, like adding in seating, chairs, that sort of thing, this area is basically done. So what will happen now is this area in between becomes a larger exhibit. What I'm going to do is remove this line here. So it's basically all of this area here. Probably... it will run along here. And then this forms the backing to that enclosure. And I would say sort of up to this point here. And then let's give it like a curved end cap here. So this is all going to be the next enclosure, which is where we're going to have some sauropods, bigger species, so it's going to be a little bit more, you know, bigger animals. It's how far up this area, because there's the hotels are basically going to be in the back. Possibly as part of this Spinosaurus exhibit. Or maybe we'll have the hotels in their own thing, which is, I suppose, what we could do is if we blocked this area off, like if we actually block it off here, and then we could make this whole back section like another hotel, like the hotel area. And then back here, I mean, we can obviously have a path that kind of leads to the hotel area. And then back here we can probably fit another... Because in the first park there was another lagoon at the back, which was home to just a few plesiosaurs and iguana and ichthyosaurs. I don't really think we have room to do that here. That being said, we do, kind of. We could definitely got space for it here. Oh yeah, the hotel... Oh, we don't need a hotel area, because the hotels go over here, don't they? Duh. Idiot. So actually, we've got a lot of room that we can play with, actually. Getting my own park layout. I mean, this area won't be built up. It's just going to be plants, bushes, and that apart from where the hotel is. Yeah, okay. Sorry, I'm not looking at chat much. Yeah, Aiden, I agree. Why did they get rid of the placeable trees at launch? So stupid. Kind of in the middle with the amenities. I miss the JP. I do miss the Return to Jurassic Park amenities from the first game. I definitely think it would have been nice to have them pop in with the anniversary pack, I think. What area can I just kind of work on for a little bit? We've only got like 10 minutes. Let's actually like work on over here. It's a bit bare. Okay, let's do I like the conversation going on in chat at the moment about removing creatures for babies. That's a spicy sort of conversation. Imagine if we got some coaster attractions. So this might make me very unpopular, but I'm 100% against roller coaster attractions coming to Jurassic World Evolution 3. I'm really against the idea. What is the building tool? What do you mean by building tool? Do you mean like building, like as in the buildings, or do you mean stuff like the terrain system, that sort of thing? Like, what do you mean by building? Oh, you're not feeling well, Melissa. I'm sorry to hear that. And yes, I know the Bone Shaker attraction, Telltale Games, all that jazz. Unfortunately, the Telltale game is not considered canonical, so the Bone Shaker attraction is not considered canonical. And even if it was canonical, I still wouldn't want it. Oh, well, would I like updated and changed? I mean, there's so many options there. I think fundamentally the amenity modification system needs to be expanded to come to more buildings. Like, the amenity modification system is a great idea, but it just needs to come to more buildings. Like, if I had it my way, we wouldn't have 4 types of viewing platform. We would have one, and you just build one, and then it comes with a range of settings like the amenities do to just make it look different. That way we could have lots of different styles and designs and decorative elements to all the basic buildings. Like, all these viewing galleries, just have one, give them the amenity system, the viewing platforms, same thing. All these other galleries, it's exactly the same thing. The park tours, just have one building and select which vehicle you want, as well as, you know, the design of the building itself. Like, they need to implement the amenity modification system in other places because it works so well, and it would make an immediate effect to the way that we build our parks. Yes, you did one, Chuff Frog. We haven't got that much longer to go, I'm afraid. Oh, yes, sorry about that. It's lunar, isn't it? Sorry. I did, Rob, but my memory is not very good, and in the course of a week or so between streams, I can forget stuff. A frog is never late. He arrives exactly when he intends to. Okay, that's annoying. That's one thing they definitely need to improve in the next game, is if there is a space where bushes can form, put the fucking bushes where I want them. Don't tell me, oh, you can't have bushes there. It is so frustrating to use the bush tool and for it to just go, nah, you're not going to be allowed to put any there. It's like, why? Why not? Put a bush where I want the bush. For heaven's sake. The new Jurassic movie. That is a subject I am not going to go into. Thankfully, since we're towards the end of the stream, but also it's just a subject I am not going to go into. I think this park is turning out to be really, really good. I think rebuilding my Arizona park was such a good idea when I was thinking of what I wanted to do, because it's just made me kind of get into building on this game again. I was starting to lag a bit, feeling like I couldn't come up with anything, but this is really helping. And I'm really happy with how this whole area has turned out here. Obviously, I've got a bit of homework to do, putting in vegetation, putting in decorative elements, etc. So there's probably another 3-4 hours of work to do before this lagoon area is finished. But I think this looks really good, and I'm really happy with how our little kaiju-inspired, Godzilla-inspired sort of Japanese area. He's rammed the ship. Megalodon number 3 rammed the ship. But I think this really turned out really good. So yeah, I'm happy with this. I'm guessing you're not excited. No, Aiden. The TLDR version is I was burned with Fallen Kingdom. I was burned with Jurassic World Dominion. Rebirth has got to be like the equivalent of sliced bread in terms of its historical significance for me to be interested. And they do need a bigger boat, One Shot Frog. Well, where shall we? Let's end the stream down here in the depths with our sea creatures. I want to thank everyone for tuning into this stream. The chat's been good and active, which is always nice. It means there's plenty to talk about. Next week, the video is all ready to go. Wednesday is going to be our first tea with Triclaw, where me, Fallout, and Dane will be discussing an interesting topic. Please do watch that video. I know it's not our usual stuff, but it's a bit more of a general discussion video, the sort of thing you can have on in the background while you're doing other stuff. You know, there's nothing to watch, it's just us talking. So you can just have it on in the background and listen to us chat about our favourite video games, and some of them not so favourite. But yeah, that video is ready to go on Wednesday. Obviously, there'll be the normal streams on Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday from me and from Fallout. And yeah, wherever you are, I hope you have a very good evening or enjoy the rest of your Sundays, whatever the time is for you guys. And stay safe and good night.